Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about variables. So as usual, let's get started by talking about what a variable is. So the dictionary definition of a variable is an element, feature, or factor that is liable to vary or change. And it's just like that in programming. It's something that you define and you can change it whenever you like. And in every programming language, the concept is the same, but the way you define the variable, like the way you write it, is a little different. So let's look at some examples of why we use variables using our text editor. Alright, so in my Python file, I already have some code in it and I've already saved it as variables.py. And so basically what we're doing here is we're taking these two numbers, 2 and 1, and we're adding them, subtracting them, multiplying them, and dividing them. So let's just see if this works real quick. So let's go to our terminal, and my directory has already been changed to my desktop where I have this saved, and I'm just gonna run this. So Python variables.py, and there you go. 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 divided by 1 is 2. I'll get into why this says 0.0 in a future video. It's a little bit complicated now. So yeah, so going back to our Sublime Text, our text editor, we're basically taking these two numbers, right? So that means that whenever I want to change one of the numbers, let's say 6 here, so I'm just going to say 6, and then I have to change it 4 different times. And let's say I'm doing a ton of operations with them, and I'll have to change it each time, and that's not very efficient. So instead of saying 6, I can have a variable up here called x, and I can make it equal to 6. So now I can just put x in all of these places, and whenever I want to change this first number, I can just change x. So let's keep this as 2 for now, just to show you that it works. And let's also change the second number to y. So y is now equal to 1. So y equals 1. And let's save this first. And now let's run it. Let's go back to our terminal. And let's run it. So we just say Python variables.py, and we'll get the same answer. See, it works pretty well. And now let's try changing it up. So let's use x as 6 and y as 3. Now we should be getting 9, 3, 18, and 2. Alright, so let's just save this and head over to the terminal where we just say Python variables.py, and there you go, 9, 3, 18, 2. So that's basically how you use variables. Now let's just go over data types, because variables aren't always just numbers. So I went back to Sublime, and a data type is exactly what its name is. It's just a type of data. So for example, this 6 here is an integer. So the data type of x right now is an integer. But if we wanted to change this to text, we have to use these quotation marks, which, if you remember last week's video, hello world has to be printed in here as quotation marks because it's a string, and a string is text. So the final data type that is also pretty basic and will be used a lot is a Boolean, which is just a fancy way of saying a true or false. So we can say true here, or we can also say false. And these are the 3 main data types, but there's also stuff like date time and floating points and all that kind of stuff. But for now, this is all we're going to talk about, and that's all for today. Bye!